Hi everyone. So one thing that's been talked about a lot at the moment with kind of everything going on with coronavirus is control, and that a lot of people are feeling understandably kind of without control or kind of out of control because this thing has happened that has caused so much disruption that actually right now we don't have control over what's going to happen over the coming months, and that can feel really uncomfortable. And I'm someone who has always kind of labelled myself a bit of a control freak and has wanted things to be done in a certain way, and I like to plan things, and the holiday that I've just had to kind of cut short to come back to the UK was planned to kind of within an inch of its life because I kind of wanted to get the most out of it. But I think also I'm the kind of person who maybe likes the idea of kind of seeing how things will pan out, but in reality I kind of like to know how things are going to go. But anyway, that didn't go to plan, and actually that whole experience of feeling so out of control, that I was out in Malaysia and not knowing what was going to happen, that the country went into lockdown and we didn't know whether we were going to be able to travel to the airport. We didn't know whether we were going to be able to kind of get flights back to the UK. There was so much that we didn't have any control over, and actually it was quite an interesting time because actually I was almost sort of forced to make peace with the fact that control was something that I wasn't going to have in that situation, no matter kind of how hard I tried, and no matter how much I kind of wanted to grip onto the things that I did have control over. Ultimately, things were going to pan out in a way that I had no idea. And so what kind of occurred to me the other day, I can't remember if I read it somewhere or if it just kind of popped into my head, that the only thing we actually have control over is what we choose to do in the present moment, right here, right now. And that even kind of planning several hours in advance, like we have no idea what's going to happen. And that can feel kind of scary, or almost kind of liberating in a way, because it almost takes the pressure off us, because it means that we don't have to worry about what decisions we're going to have to make in the next few hours or days or weeks or even months, because it brings us right into the present, because that's the only thing we have. We spend so much time in our heads either worrying about the past and all the kind of the decisions we've made, or in the future worrying about what's going to happen. And actually what this is all really teaching me is, like, the only thing we can do right now is be present. And sometimes that can feel so much easier kind of said than done, because we kind of get sucked into the kind of whirlwind of thinking about what's going to happen in the future. I mean, we've got news coming at us from every angle, from social media to TV and radio. It's all that anyone is kind of talking about at the moment, that it's so difficult not to think about what's going to happen. But ultimately those are the kind of the scenarios we're living out in our heads. And yes, the future is going to come at some point, but actually kind of accepting that we have no idea what that's going to look like, and accepting that all we can do right now is live with what's going on right now and making decisions based on what's happening right now, and kind of being okay with the kind of uncertainty that comes with that we often find so uncomfortable, but actually being okay with dealing with things as they come and taking things day by day, hour by hour, and that actually that kind of provides, in a time where freedom is being restricted, that actually I personally have found that hugely liberating in a way, because that's, I've kind of found certainty in the uncertainty, which might not make any sense to some of you, but that's kind of my reflections on where I am right now. So that may or may not have been helpful, but I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts for the day.